Egypt's interim president, Adli Mansour, has set out a timetable for fresh parliamentary elections in an attempt to calm the escalating crisis in the country. He suggested polls could be held by February of next year. The announcement came after more than 50 supporters of the ousted president, Mohamed Morsi, were killed during clashes with soldiers. The journalist Nabila Ramdani specialises in Arabic affairs. Good morning, Nabila.
Good morning.
One would wonder if the killing of these 51 people near the barracks in Cairo had absolutely, completely quashed all hopes of a unity administration.
Well, I think, the first thing to highlight is the absolute horror of the ongoing massacres which are taking place in Egypt. And the narrative is depressingly familiar. A country, buoyed by the hope of freedom and democracy, now reduced to a battleground, effectively in which rival sides are killing each other. And I think the attempt by the interim government and indeed the army, which is now, back in its role as a political kingmaker, to try to, deliver a ready-made government, interim government, and indeed plans for parliamentary elections is not going to appease the Muslim Brotherhood supporters who feel that they've been robbed of the democratic mandate and who also feel very much persecuted at the moment, having effectively the president being deposed, being under house arrest, their members rounded up and put in prison, and effectively the organization, the Muslim Brotherhood, threatened to be dissolved as well, and their Freedom and Justice Party, the political wing of the Muslim Brotherhood headquarters, has now been shut down. So they feel very much excluded from the political scene. The supporters are being shot at by the military, and it's unlikely that they have any faith whatsoever in any future democratic process.
Are we likely, do you think, to see an armed uprising, an intifada essentially?
I think the country is gradually but certainly descending into a civil war, and we see the resilience of the Muslim Brotherhood in the face of persecution. They organized the first large protest last Sunday, which they call the Day of Rejection of the removal of the president, the rejection of the interim government, which they see very much as a fudge, and indeed an attempt to manufacture democracy effectively, which is not going to appease extremists drawn from extremist Islamist parties, which have already made it clear that they are rejecting this interim government. But I think Democrats, crucially, are not going to be, see democracy effectively imposed on them by the military. And resilience from the Muslim Brotherhood in the face of yesterday's massacre, where more than 50 people have been killed, after being shot at by the military. So there's a very macabre escalation in the violence, and it wouldn't be surprising to see in the next few days Al-Qaeda-related elements joining in to perpetrate revenge attacks for what has happened to what is in the end a Muslim organization. And we've already seen the Muslim Al-Qaeda elements battling it out in parts of Egypt, including the Sinai and Suez area.
Yeah. Nabila, thank you very much indeed for bringing us up to date. Much appreciated. That's Nabila Ramdani.